My 41M wife, 41F, kissed another man on a night out. I wasn't bothered and now she's causing issues over it. We've been together since we were 18. Never had a great sex lift after the first year. Maybe once or twice a year at most since then, but at the minute it's going on 3 years, and although it bothers me, I love her and I love our kids, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I know plenty of friends in the same situation. I've always been mildly overweight but always fit as I played a lot of sports, until about 10 years ago when I got really ill and the mixtures of meds and comfort eating made me balloon up to nearly 300 pounds. Well, 2 years ago I decided to do something about. I'm now around 200, which at 6 feet 2 inches is the lightest I've been as an adult, and I've actually enjoyed using weights, and for the first time in my life have a bit of abs and some muscle. My wife, having always been far hotter, is pretty obvious insecure about the fact that for the first time we've been together, women are starting to look at me and message me on my baking pages on social media. For the record, I've never even looked at another woman in that way. On to the night in question. My wife went out with some friends, a mix of single and in a relationship. She looked stunning and I told her so. I even updated my phone home screen to that picture of her, lol. One of the friends she was out with messaged me about 3 months and the gist was she knows I get no sex, my wife doesn't realize how lucky she is, and basically, do I want to hook up? I obviously instantly take a screenshot and send it to my wife. Around 4 a.m. my wife gets home and she wakes me up as she gets into bed. I'm half awake but can tell something is wrong and ask what the matter is. She doesn't say anything for a few seconds, and as I go to grab her hand she pulls away. I ask if she wants me to get her a drink and she says no. Then she just blurts it out and says, "I met a guy tonight, he kissed me." I didn't kiss back at first, then I did. Then, for the next half hour we were dancing and constantly kissing. She kept saying sorry and begging me not to leave her. My honest first reaction was, so what, it's only kissing and dancing? I didn't say that. I just hugged her and tried to calm her down. An hour or so later, once I got the right words in my head, I said, "I know you feel really guilty, but please don't. I'm not going to leave you and break up our family over some kissing and dancing, and I don't love you any less than I did yesterday, and this isn't something that's going to grow and cause and resentment." More or less right on cue my phone goes off and it's that friend of hers with a picture and a video of what my wife was doing. This set my wife off again, but my feelings still haven't changed, and a month later that remains the case. In that month since then my wife has accused me of not loving her because I didn't care. She's accused me of kissing other people and more, which is why I didn't care, as I was covering up my own indiscretions, and she's accused me of being gay multiple times, which doesn't make sense. She keeps asking me why I haven't initiated anything with her, even though in the past she's told me she hates being touched and not to ever try it on with her, which I have respected. She's basically projecting, and it's annoying me as it's putting a strain on us, which she is 100% causing. How do I get through to her that she needs to stop feeling guilty and just move on because I have, as it's not a big deal? I was genuinely more annoyed when she broke my baking bowl and tried to blame it on the cat, lol. Edit. Over the years we have been to a few different couples counselors and sex therapists, the latest being last September for both. My wife always feels like she's being victimized by them and we stop going. Nearly all have said though they think she is asexual, and two even saying she is displaying a lot of signs of being a closeted lesbian, which I have brought up to her before and she is adamant she's not. On that note, I've had a lot of messages saying she wants to feel wanted and for me to be more forward with her. This is not true. In all our sessions she said she doesn't want me trying it on with her. She doesn't even want me to initiate hugs, and just bringing up sex makes her feel under pressure. She let me, and our therapists, know that if she ever sex without her initiating, it will be no more than pity sex. As for people saying I don't love her, I buy her flowers every Friday on the way home from work, I bake her favorite cookies or cupcakes every weekend, I send her voice notes of songs I'm listening to that remind me of her, I tell her I love her every day, I run her a bath every night. This isn't me showing off, this is how I was brought up to show love. For those saying I must have been brought up in an unloving home, people have said that I don't get jealous, I don't love her. If she told me she was having an emotional affair, she spent hours on the phone with someone else laughing and joking, she snuggled on a sofa eating chocolates and watching TV with someone, etc., I'd be devastated. A dance and a kiss isn't a big deal to me and not even close to divorce. Second edit, sorry for these. It's 7 a.m. in the morning here now, the day after I posted this. Been talking to my wife since 6 and said she's got a week to agree to go back to couples counseling and she's got to stick it out this time and not just accuse them of taking sides and refuse to go back. She said no. She said they all bully her and make her out to be the bad guy. She said I went back on my word that I forgive her and won't resent her. I said this isn't about the kiss, it's about her reaction since the kiss and that it feels like she's purposely trying to drive me away and make me leave her. She just got up and stormed out the room. She then got dressed and said she's going out until I go to work. She's trying to sabotage the relationship and she's getting mad that you won't let her. OP, that's the conclusions I'm heartbreakingly coming to. This hurts infinitely more than seeing her kiss someone else. Comments. Friend texting you is a setup. Update 1. It's been nearly 2 weeks since I made the post and the short update is that we are getting divorced. I said in my last post I told her I wanted us to go back to couples counseling and sex therapy. She said no to both as we went before and she felt bullied. She said at sex therapy that unless she initiates touching, not just sex, any touching like hugs or hand holding, it will be against her will and will be forced/pity affection from her. The sex therapist said that's very unreasonable and that's why she felt bullied there. I tried to ask her a few questions too. Are you a lesbian or at least bi? Don't be stupid. Are you asexual? I'm not a teenager with a stupid label. What did he have I don't? Nothing, I just wanted to do it. Why don't you ever want to do that with me? Don't know. What can I do to make you want to do that to me? Don't know. Do you want me to take the initiative and try it on with you more? No, I'll tell you when I want it, don't guess. So she refused the therapy and gave me no straight answers. She has also said I've gone back on my word about not letting the kiss split us up because now it is. I said it's not the kiss, it's your behavior since then that has caused me to want to divorce. She said as it's my decision to divorce and it's all my fault then I should be the one to tell out kids and she will have no part of it. That was hard. As soon as they were told, my wife left for her sisters and in the 3 days since I haven't heard anything from her. I've tried speaking to her about the kids as they miss her but she reads my messages and ignores me. A lot of people asked about the friend and why they still talk after she tried it on with me. How I understand it is my wife tried to get the friend group to cut the friend out but they all pretty much refused and so my wife just chose to ignore her in group settings. On the night in question the friend approached my wife and told her if she didn't tell me she would send me the video. So my wife didn't tell me because she felt guilty but because she was forced. I've also spoke to a couple of other friends in the group and asked what's been going on, I'm not privy to. Apparently my wife was sexting her friend's boyfriend a couple of years ago. My wife has also been boasting about how she has me under the thumb and she gets away with giving me nothing and I'm too scared to ask. The friend apparently saw me out shopping one day and decided I was now more fuckable, and thought she'd try and exact some revenge on my wife. So she didn't really want me, I was just a pawn in this weird friend group's one of many internal beefs with each other which I've found out about in the last few days. Basically they all seem to hate each other and mess with each other's partners. I'll be honest now and I feel incredibly guilty about it, but when she left my body and soul seemed to take a massive sigh of relief. It was like a black cloud that was dripping eggshells on the floor for me to constantly avoid has gone. I feel terrible for feeling this way but I feel like I'm my 6 feet 2 inches height now rather a browbeaten 3 foot who was scared to even say anything for fear of being told I'm wrong or insulted or ridiculed. It's like the blinkers have been taken off. Spent the day today baking with my kids, eating Easter eggs and watching cartoons and I haven't stopped smiling all day. I haven't winced or broke out in a sweat worrying I'm about to be told off about being too noisy or watching the wrong thing on TV or there's a wrapper on the floor, etc. Comments. You didn't go back on your word, friend. Her actions after the fact and lack thereof is the reason. OP, yep, I'm still not bothered about the kiss. Comment. I think that your state of being unbothered is exactly why you should divorce her. You are past the point of caring what she does or with whom she does it. That's the divorce death knell. Comment. It's some Olympic-level mental gymnastics to say that the divorce is your fault because you went back on your word for being unbothered. Pretty sure kissing someone else while being married also goes back on her word. That said, I'd be taking her up on her demand that you're the one to tell the kids. Don't let her control the narrative because she seems like the type to be attempting parental alienation at every opportunity. Update 2. After my last update, a lot of people commented and messaged me to say that am I sure my kids are mine? This thought never entered my head until I read what people said. Last Thursday I ordered a paternity test, sent it Friday and awaiting the results. At this point I don't really care, it won't change my love for them, but I'm terrified if they come back as not biologically mine I'll lose them. ID discussed this with my lawyer last week, who said if they aren't mine it will be much harder to get even any kind of custody. I told him if it comes to that then I'll keep fighting until the end. Blood or no, they are my boys. Speaking of the boys, my STBX has seen them a couple of times with her mom, who is genuinely a nice person, and the kids have been fine. I can't say the same about my baking equipment though. She came into the house on Friday last week when she knew I was out and took a lot of it and purposely broke some bits she knew had sentimental value to me that came from my grandma and my mom. I can't prove she did anything and she brought the stuff back on Sunday and said she just borrowed the items, but I love baking and she is slowly ruining it for me. I'd already deleted my Instagram page because she was insecure about the women who followed. I was making a cake for my niece's birthday and tried to sabotage it. I've made notes and screenshots of everything. As a lot of you rightly predicted, she had also been cheating on me a lot, although no evidence of it being physical yet from what I can tell. Her friend, who is also in this WhatsApp group where women basically just post nudes and men comment, I still need to get the details of this group so I can finally get to see some boobs again, lol, sent me a lot more screenshots of photos she's taken, all round our house, blatantly her bedroom in some of them, and one even stood against my car. Also, a few of these friends are single, and when they hook up with someone my wife will add the guy on Facebook and has basically been offering herself to them. One of the friends messaged one of the guys who still had the chats in his Facebook DMs and sent the friend a load of screenshots to send to me. All in all, I must have over 100 screenshots of stuff she's been saying and sending to people, and all of that is within the last couple of years, so it probably goes on further. As for the divorce, still in the early stages. One day I want to fight, the next I just want to give her everything, materially, not the kids, and walk away and start again so I can get this finished and done. Comment. Good luck. Appreciate the update. You don't owe a bunch of strangers anything, but we appreciate it. Take care of yourself and protect yourself. You can see how sneaky she has been. I think you need to understand how sneaky she may also be in a divorce. Record conversations, keep backups of the screenshots, in case she does something to your phone, just do what you need to take care of you. Good luck. Rooting for you from across the pond. OP, I've already started recording our phone calls, and on the couple of occasions I've seen her I've made sure there's a witness. Feels so sad it's come to this. Makes me want to just give her everything in a quick divorce and walk away. Update 3. If you read my profile you'll see around 6 weeks ago I left my abusive wife after I realized how bad she was. Prior to this we hadn't had sex for 3 years, and when we did it was no foreplay. I hadn't received or given oral in close to 20 years, me on top and her telling me to go as fast as I can so I can come quickly. There was also zero affection. No holding hands, no kissing, no hugging, no snuggling up, nothing. We didn't even share a bed. Since becoming single I have realized how much I missed this. I had basically suppressed this desire with my ex as I knew it was never going to happen. Since becoming single it's like a switch had flicked and I realized there's a world of women out there and some might want me to bake them some cakes and then we can snuggle up and watch some rubbish TV and I can play with their hair or stroke their back or whatever. After my original post on here a woman started to talking to me who seems lovely and I expressed these desires and she said she'd love to do that with no implications of anything more happening. She arranged to come round last night and we arranged the movie. I made her a cake she said she'd like and I was all set. She arrived and it was the first time I'd really seen her. She was very beautiful and the couple of photos I'd seen hadn't done her justice. She told me she didn't drink alcohol so I offered her a tea which she accepted and a slice of cake. The cake went over a treat and she asked for seconds and then thirds which was fine by me lol. After that she suggested pushing my sofas together, getting a duvet and getting under to watch a film and then she said, or if you've got a TV in your bedroom let's just go up there. Me being terrible at hints thought that was just a good idea so said yes. As soon as we got into the room she just stripped off and got into bed saying she felt bloated from the cake. She wanted me to sit up and she would lay with her head on my lap while I stroked her back and played with her hair. I'll spare you the details but I'll imagine you can guess what she tried to do pretty quickly in that position. My body wasn't up for it nor expecting it still at that time which was stupid of me. Nothing happened. She then said maybe I'm just nervous and started kissing me and rubbing herself against me. I felt terrible for her because she was really trying but my body just wouldn't play along. She then got upset and said I'd made her feel ugly and that crushed me as that's exactly how my ex-wife always made me feel. She ended up getting dressed and leaving. I tried messaging her straight away to say sorry but she must have blocked me as soon as she got in her car. Is this my life now? I can't even have sex with someone. I'll be honest I've only slept with 3 people before and they were all relationships. I've never done no string stuff. If she unblocks me how do I apologize to her for making her feel bad? Comment. 6 weeks is not enough time to process that amount of trauma. Be patient with yourself. It gets better but you have to give yourself some time. Be upfront and say you just got out of a bad marriage and you need to take things slow. Comment. She not only crossed your boundary, but manipulated you into thinking she was the victim. You did nothing wrong, and it is more than acceptable to not be ready for sex 6 weeks after leaving your ex. And it is totally normal to not be able to perform, given the circumstances, i.e., you likely need to move on more before being ready to be intimate with another. Here are my 2 cents from my own experiences. 1. When I left my previous long-term relationship and entered the dating pool, I was also uncomfortable not ready to get intimate with someone else, but wanted connection. I communicated this, and it was respected by almost all women. Some did feel ugly or unattractive. Ideally, which I understand. You don't want to have these types of Netflix and chill style dates, they attract a certain type of person and suggest that you're open to those implications, i.e. sex. Try and have more public dates, e.g. meal, drink, activities such as mini golf or arcade, outdoor picnic etc. 3. It is not a bad thing to go out with people for the sake of building connections, finding your feet etc. This is all part of the process. There'll be experiences that are less than ideal, but you will find someone that respects your asterisk boundaries and or eventually, someone that can help you become intimate once again. Update 4. I have moved back to my hometown and given my ex the house. I know people won't be happy with that but I just wanted a clean break and no ties to her or that city. The kids are with me and see their mum at weekends, provided I make the 5-hour round trip to drop them off on a Saturday morning and then make the same trip Sunday afternoon to pick them up. I know again people will say I'm doing what she wants but if it makes my kids happy it makes me happy. She seems okay with this arrangement although she has flaked twice already. Once the kids say they no longer want to go I won't take them. The divorce is still going through but won't be done for a few more months yet according to my lawyer. I'm baking a lot more now and loving it. Comment. Get your slice of peace man. Sucks to lose out on the house, but if it brings you more peace all the power to you. OP, it's only a possession is how I saw it. One less thing to worry about. Night Out 2. Update 5. I posted on here a few months ago. If you want to look at my profile, read them about my wife kissing another man on a night out despite not having had sex with me for years. I wasn't bothered and was willing to ignore it and carry on, but she kept making issues over it and eventually we split up. I moved back to my home city about 2 hours away and the kids came with me. My ex-wife said it was too far for her to travel to have them at weekends, so every Saturday morning I've been driving them up to her and then picking them back up Sunday evening so they got to see their mum. We'd make fun trips out of it and would take snacks, play audiobooks, have sing-alongs etc., but I'd noticed they always seemed happier to be picked up than taken there. I just always assumed it was because all their stuff and their main home was with me. My ex has started to cancel these weekends a bit recently. 3 of the last 5 she's cancelled. She started to say things like, "They don't like me anyway," and "You've poisoned them," which is not true. I have never said a bad about their mum to them or in front of them and never would. Plus I make 2 4-hour round trips every weekend so she can see them and they can see her. I'll be honest, every Saturday after I drop them off I cry all the way home. I miss them so much. They are my little best mates. Every night after dinner we will all do our chores and do a different activity. Sometimes it's a walk in the woods behind my house, or we bake, or have movie nights, or read books together. I'm quite good with my hands and love making and fixing things, whether it's baking, cooking, DIY or car repairs, and they have started to take an interest too, so we have a couple of projects on the go, like building a kind of Wendy house for them, but it will have games consoles, a fridge for their drinks and snacks etc. Plus we are also building a couple of petrol go-karts from scratch for them to race at a nearby track when they are done, which they are designing themselves and we are building together. Basically my life is taken up with them in the week, and then at the weekends I feel like a lost zombie until it's time to go get them. Then yesterday I received a short text from her saying she no longer wants to see them. All they do is ask for me anyway. They don't have fun there and they basically get in the way. I was absolutely heartbroken for my boys and I rang her straight away. I'll be honest, I started crying as I felt so bad for them, and she genuinely acted like I was annoying her for wanting to get to the bottom of it. She then said, "Sounds like you don't want them either and are just trying to palm them off the weekends," and hung up on me. I don't even know how I'm going to tell them this. Do I just say she's cancelled for a few weeks and see how it goes? Do I tell them the truth? How do I say it in a way that kids will understand and won't absolutely crush them? Then I've got the conflicted selfish emotion of pure joy that I'll have the whole weekends with them. It's so selfish of me, I know, as they are going to be sad while I'm happy. Has anyone been in a similar situation from my side or the kid's side? How do I handle this? Comments. Don't forget child support. I hope you're receiving and get it adjusted based on new custody agreement. Comment. Don't forget getting your kids into counseling. I know 2 boys who a very similar thing happened to, and despite having a happy life with their dad and his new partner, the pain of being deserted by their mom and never left, it's still there, and they're in their 30s now. Comment. Sad truth. Saw that firsthand with 2 different friends, male and female. This makes me so angry for the little kids. I got them in therapy as soon as we split up because everyone in their life is attached to this one way or another, and they need an outside voice to help them understand it, and someone they can be truly honest with without fear of hurting feelings. Lock that in quick. Talk to a lawyer and have her give up her parental rights. Comment. I'd also be rethinking giving her the house, time to sell and split the proceeds. Also she can pay you child support, or you get a bigger slice of the house if you agree to her terminating parental rights, because the money is for your kids. Second order of business is therapy for you and the kids. Again, lawyer up so that there's money from the house for paying for this. Update 6. Quick recap. Split up with my wife a few months ago after she cheated on me on a night out. I was willing to stay, but she got upset. I wasn't more upset and I had enough and left. I moved 2 hours away to my hometown and let her have the house. Our 2 sons came with me. I drive them to and from her house every weekend to see them, but she started canceling and then one day texts me saying she no longer wants to see them and is happy to give them up in the divorce. So as far as her giving up her rights as parent, it's a lot harder than I thought. Both my lawyer and hers have told me that it's hard to do this in the UK, and neither of them have seen a judge allow it unless there is a physical or sexual chance of harm to the children. However, they have both also said they've never presented a case like this to a judge where both parties agree to it fully. They've drafted an agreement where we both agree to my ex-wife no longer have responsibilities towards my children, including financially. Let's see what happens with that. Just waiting now to get a court date, but they said that can be months away. On to the hardest part, telling my kids. I'll be honest, I haven't. The first couple of weeks I just said Mom had cancelled again when they asked, and the eldest in particular seemed pretty relieved at this both times, and last weekend they didn't even ask. It's been over a month now since they've seen her. The eldest has also told me that he doesn't like going there anyway, as all she does is sleep and shout. He also told me the other day he prefers his new house and he feels more relaxed. I feel terrible, as I was obviously missing signs before that he wasn't fully happy when we were together as a family. At least he's more comfortable now. I had a bit of a wobble last night with my youngest though. He was watching Land Before Time and then he started saying he misses his mum and then started crying. It was full-blown tears and breaking down, and it was awful to see. While I was holding him I started crying, but I made sure he couldn't see. I didn't say anything bad about his mum or tell him she doesn't want to see him anymore. I just hugged him and stroked his hair and told him I'll always be here for him and he can always come to me if he's upset, happy, or just wants to be silly, and I'll never push him away. Once they were in bed I was in pieces. Blaming myself for leaving their mum. Questioning why I couldn't be stronger and live with it for a few more years until they were adults. It was me who left. It's me who's made them drive up and down the country every weekend. Unsettled them. Uprooted their lives. At 2 a.m. this morning I drafted a text to my wife asking her to get back together and to be a mum again. Luckily I didn't send it. I had about 3 hours sleep but feel better this morning. None of her family have been in touch either to try and maintain a relationship with the boys. It's horrible to be honest, but they are the ones missing out on these two amazing kids. One of her cousins messages me every so often, but she asks more about me than kids, so that either feels like ulterior motive or a trap which I'm not falling into. As for my divorce, MG lawyer has said it should hopefully be finalized before Christmas. Not that it'll make much difference. I don't wear my ring and she has a new 20-year-old boyfriend, not the guy she cheated with. Will be nice though to finally be able to say ex-wife and it be official. Comment. Blaming myself for leaving their mum. Questioning why I couldn't be stronger and live with it for a few more years until they were adults. It was me who left. It's me who's made them drive up and down the country every weekend. Unsettled them. Uprooted their lives. Don't do this. Your ex cheated. Your ex gave up on your marriage without talking and trying to fix what's wrong. Yes, you were the one that physically went out of the door. But only after she showed you in several ways that she wants you gone. Staying for the kids would have made no one happy, including the kids. See how she treated them after you left. Now think how many years of this you and your kids would have had to endure. Not a great option. I suggest seeking therapy for the kids, to help them break the news in regards to mom abandoning them. And for yourself as well, to help get rid of the unnecessary guilt you feel, and find a way to actually process what happened and find a healthy way forward. You are the role model for your kids. You just showed them self-respect and that you will always protect them. That's so much better than letting a woman who happens to have given birth to them neglect and potentially abuse them further down the line.